Thank you, dignitaries, for joining us on this special moment. I now request Samanvita to render the Tamil Thai Varthu, and I request all of you to raise in your seats.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமெனத் திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையில் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிளமை திறம் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Kindly be seated. Every day as we wake up to Arunodayam, the beaming rays of sunlight enters our life to give hope and cheer. We have the mesmerizing voice that will herald a prayerful and an auspicious Sandhya Kalam. I request the audience to be seated for the invocation song to be rendered by O.S. Arun.
குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கோவிந்தா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை கோவிந்தா. கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாமல் நிற்கின்றாய் கண்ணா, கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாமல் நிற்கின்றாய் கண்ணா, கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாமல் நின்றாலும் எனக்கு குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா. வேண்டியது வேறில்லை வெங்கடேசன் நின்றிருக்க, வேண்டியது வேறில்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா, வேண்டியதை தந்திட வெங்கடேசன் நின்றிருக்க, வேண்டியது வேறில்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா. மணிவண்ணா மலையப்பா கோவிந்தா 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 கோவிந்தா. திரையின் பின் நிற்கின்றாய் கண்ணா, உன்னை மறையோதும் ஞானியர் மட்டுமே காண்பார். திரையின் பின் நிற்கின்றாய் கண்ணா, மறையோதும் ஞானியர் மட்டுமே காண்பார். என்றாலும் குறை ஒன்றும் எனக்கில்லை கண்ணா, என்றாலும் குறை ஒன்றும் எனக்கில்லை கண்ணா. குன்றின் மேல் கல்லாகி நிற்கின்ற வரதா, குன்றின் மேல் கல்லாகி நிற்கின்ற வரதா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா, குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா. மணிவண்ணா மலையப்பா கோவிந்தா 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 கோவிந்தா. கலிநாளுக்கு இறங்கி கலிலே இறங்கி நிலையாக கோயிலில் நிற்கின்றாய் கேசவா. கலினாளுக்கு இறங்கி கலிலே இறங்கி நிலையாக கோயிலில் நிற்கின்றாய் கேசவா. குறை ஒன்றும் இல்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா, யாரும் மறவாத மலையப்பா, யாரும் மறக்காத மலையப்பா. உன் மார்பில் ஏதும் தரதிருக்க கருணை கடல் என்னை என்றும் இருந்திட ஏது குறை எனக்கே, என்றும் இருந்திட ஏது குறை எனக்கே. ஒன்றும் குறையில்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா, ஒன்றும் குறையில்லை மறைமூர்த்தி கண்ணா. மணிவண்ணா மலையப்பா கோவிந்தா 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 கோவிந்தா.
Thank you, Arun. Namaskarams, Swagatam, Malai Vanakkam. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome the illustrious dignitaries on stage, each one of you in the audience, for this milestone celebrations, the Silver Jubilee event of Sapiens Health Foundation. Rarely do we see a successful doctor in the peak of his career initiate a setup to promote healthcare activities and serve society. Our chairman, dear friends, Dr. Ravichandran is the chosen messenger by God Dhanvantri to care and contribute to the cause of better health of fellow citizens. I would like, as I wanted all of you, you have already done it, you have applauded our founder, Ravichandran, as we celebrate this special moment. Undoubtedly, this humble start in 1997-98 by Dr. Ravichandran was a fulfillment of his passion to educate and enlighten patients on kidney care, which later expanded to several awareness programs on overall health issues. Dr. Ravichandran's dedication and commitment to serve the society is a stellar example of how busy professionals can pursue their passion and serve humanity if they desire to do so. Not everybody need to be famous, but everybody can be great because greatness is determined by service, said Martin Luther King. A quick recall of Dr. R.C.'s several contributions. Ravichandran's endeavors with research bodies like the IIT have been translated to real-life solutions like the portable, affordable, acute dialysis machine, oral resin for removing phosphorus in patients with chronic kidney diseases, and care with aid and machines and medicines for cystinosis-affected children. The kidney transplant across blood groups is a breakthrough idea implemented successfully. His line of treatment for COVID patients with indomethacin tablets was a huge success, which was endorsed by several countries, and all the data was systematically analyzed and presented by premier institutes. It's another story on how this was dealt with by our own system. Dr. R.C. now is focused his attention on reducing salt. You will hear from him on all of this later. It is his passion, commitment, integrity, knowledge, and penchant to serve society that leaves an indelible impression. Knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. Thank you, Dr. R.C., for leading Foundation, the Sapiens, is happening in the birth centenary of my dear father and Dr. Ravichandran's uncle and founder of Hamsadwani R. Ramachandran, and of course Venkaiah Naidu sir's good friend who was in the forefront in the early years of Sapiens as well. All of us admire Sri Venkaiah Naidu's fierce patriotism, powerful oratory, simplicity, and endearing human qualities. Sri Naidu sir's felicity in conveying his views on national and international issues, often laced with humor, wit, and impressive alliterative style, or profound in content, stir your thoughts and impact your decision. A towering personality who is affable, down to earth, mixes with people without hesitation, is a rare gem among leaders. A warm heart, a generous spirit, with high-octane passion for building the nation, he enriched the president's office with firmness, fairness, and friendliness. Listen with ears of tolerance, see through the eyes of compassion, speak with the language of love. That's what our most respected and distinguished M. Venkaiah Naidu stands for. Please put your hand together to welcome Honorable Sri M. Venkaiah Naidu, sir, who will, of course, share his words of wisdom and encouragement. Apurva Rahangal Kandadatta Muttu. The rousing cheer, I know, I don't have to say anymore, but the rousing cheer says it all, belongs forever to this utterly butterly icon of our times, the great legend superstar Rajinikanth. In a couple of years, we will celebrate Tanga Magan's Golden Jubilee moment in the film world. It is beyond the realm of anyone's imagination. How on earth can a person so successful be so rooted and be a Sthita Pragnan, a perfect sage? Rajini, thy name, familiar to the baby in the womb and to those who celebrate their 100th birthday, maybe many elders are here, his impact as a hero world over is unmatched and will never be equaled. In Yuga Purusha, this celluloid wonder and a robotic thunder, superstar Rajinikanth will gladden the hearts of those who are here for a good cause. Only when the lights are on, the camera rolls, he will act. Otherwise, he is a kind-hearted, noble, emotional, friendly, self-effacing, lost in thoughts, contemplative, affectionate, and caring Shivaji Rao Gaikwad. His presence creates an euphoria, emotional bonding that is indescribable, has the magnetic gantham, effulgence. His eyes bring that piercing attraction that we all surrender not only for his entertainment, but to his enlightening path which he propounds. Glory to God is to him an important creed, is also to be a good human being. And that's the reason he is here with us, to boost our energy and applaud Sapiens Foundation. As they say, a realized one sends out waves of spiritual influence in his aura, which draw many people towards him. Yet, he may sit in a cave and maintain complete silence. What a beautiful saying of Ramana Maharishi, and what so appropriate for the superstar Rajinikanth. I think the applause can be louder because as I said, the golden moment of celebrating his golden jubilee in film world will also take place along with Sapiens Health Foundation. We have with us Dr. S.N. Narasimhan, the National President, Indian Society for Hypertension, vastly experienced and competent to share his thoughts on the key problem of hypertension, described as a silent killer. His communication in the context of our campaign on salt reduction and the bearing it has on kidney health would be useful tips for all of us to take home and, more importantly, follow them too. He has specialized in cardio health, and his participation in our Silver Jubilee celebrations will befittingly add spice but not salt. Decrease salt, increase lives is our slogan, and we welcome Dr. Narasimhan to share his thoughts. We are delighted to welcome Dr. Amit Shah, who is the Executive Director of Resolve to Save Lives. The experience of Dr. Amit Shah over 2 decades in public health with NGOs and academia will add a different but valuable hue to our thought process to all medical professionals who have gathered here as well, and other NGOs. an interesting multi-dimensional academic pursuit that ranges from Masters in Health Policy from London School of Economics to an MBBS. His participation will strengthen our resolve as well to go full blast on the campaign to reduce salt. We welcome you, sir, for this special occasion. To welcome Balaji, I need to go a bit racy because I'm running short of time, not crazy. Mohan was our Sapiens ambassador who used to spontaneously come with powerful and telling messages on our campaigns for better health and contribute with a large heart through fundraising projects as well. Madhu Balaji is adding color to this event with his joyful presence and very much part of our foundation. The crazy duo would always regale us with their humor and won't spare the doctor too with their hilarious takes that would leave us in splits of laughter. Balaji has high regard and respect for Dr. RC and continues to support and patronize the foundation and unhesitatingly participates in all our activities. It was touching on Balaji's part to present the Crazy Mohan Award of Excellence to Dr. Ravichandran in October 2021. Art is a spiritual freedom of man, which aims at freeing him from life's chaos, goes the saying. This evening, we have the innovator who spread joy and made us forget the pandemic gloom, the charismatic Subhashri Thanikachalam, presenting a tribute this evening to legends Ghantasala, S.P. Balasubramaniam, Director K. Vishwanath, Vani Jairam, T.M. Soundararajan, and more in her QFR classic songs that will forever linger in our ears. Thoroughly researched with nuggets of information that makes you enjoy the song, her QFR brand reflects the soul and spirit of our film music. She too has a 25-year association with Hamsadwani. A melodious 90 minutes will enthrall all of us. Moments to cherish, moment to applaud, and moment to look ahead for Sapiens team. Friends, I welcome each one of you, the galaxy of eminence on stage, and all over this auditorium. All our good wishes to each one of you. We thank you for your presence and say Swagatam and Vanakkam once again. We now turn our attention to an audio-visual presentation followed by Dr. Ravichandran's special address.
Globally, over 850 million people suffer from some form of kidney disease. The leading cause of kidney disease is hypertension and diabetes.
In 2015, we found I had a hypertension where BP levels were so high, it was 170/120. So with that, we immediately consulted the doctor. So we found that this hypertension has caused my kidney failure, and with the guidance of Dr. RC sir, with his support, with his medication, I went through the follow-up with him for almost 4 or 5 years. And last year, in February 2022, we have done a transplant, and it's been 1 year now. And my hypertension is getting normal. It is in the range of 130/90. And then I'm feeling comfortable and I'm feeling confident now.
So basically I'm a diabetic patient. So the reason for my kidney failure was also found there is a diabetic problem. So before me getting that kidney failure, I was old and diabetic for 15 years. The symptom was that continuous vomiting, no sleep in the night, throughout the night coughing, there is swelling in my leg. So that made me to go to a lab for checking. There I found it was creatinine was more than 8. And on 2016 December 5th, I admitted into the hospital. On the same day, that operation took place. 3 months I was asked to take rest. After this, I started going to the regular work. I don't feel myself that I am a kidney transplant patient. I feel always very good. In a day, around 10 hours in a day I am working. My sugar level is now normal. I am going for walking every day. I want to become an example for others. I am nobody in my life so far. If they don't know that I am a kidney patient, nobody can identify me that I am a patient.
Over 100 million people in India suffer from irreversible kidney disease, the highest in the world. It costs trillions of rupees to treat them. The sad truth is that Most of these cases are preventable, and it costs next to nothing to do that. For this purpose, the Sapiens Health Foundation was established in 1997 by Dr. Ravichandran, a globally renowned nephrologist based in Chennai, India. The Sapiens Health Foundation embarked on a nationwide campaign to educate people on the root cause of kidney disease, hypertension, and diabetes. The Sapiens Health Foundation has conducted various awareness programs. Sapiens Health Foundation has been making steady progress in its mission to save lives.
At the age of 14, I was diagnosed with lupus. I had a pumpkin sort of a face with such a big face. My legs were swollen. And during this process, both my kidneys failed. And I was put into hemodialysis for 4 years. Year 2018, I got my kidneys transplanted on 14th of September. My mother donated one of her kidneys to me.
So my motto is, my daughter is to be safe. That is mine. So I'm not afraid. I went to the operation theatre, I gave.
And right now I'm doing very well. I got a chance for Z5 web series. I acted and Postman web series. It was, I think, after 8 to 9 months after my kidney transplant. From my childhood, I've been learning Bharatanatyam, but I had a YouTube channel in the name of Dance to Chill, but I could not continue because of my dialysis. But after my kidney transplant, I decided to continue with the channel. I started choreographing different genres of dance.
I was identified as a renal patient in 2013. Then I've been under the treatment with Dr. Asi. In 2019, 1st August, I had my renal transplant. In fact, I had a cadaver transplant actually. That is a deceased donors program under which government allotted a kidney to me. So right from 2013 when it was first identified till today, I never had any problem because of this renal failure. Though I was on nearly for 2-3 years on dialysis, many of the clients never knew also that I was on dialysis. Even after transplant, when I tell them I had my renal transplant, they are taken aback.
One fine day I got up with a puffy eye and a swollen ankle, and I ended up with acute kidney failure. So when I went to Dr. Ravichandran, I was in a state of live or die. It was a very bad situation, and he started me on a very aggressive treatment, and I was on peritoneal dialysis for 4 months. It took almost a year for me to get better completely. So I started learning dance at the age of 33 and went on to give my Arangetram at 35 and performed for 14 years. And in the meantime, I also started a business, and I was full-time involved in the business, and also started learning yoga. In 2018, I went for a teacher's training program, and I got my international certificate in Shivananda Yoga. And for the past 2 years, I'm a full-time yoga teacher.
I've been a juvenile diabetic for more than 20 years, so I think that is what affected my kidneys. So I was very lucky that my sister offered me a kidney. We just, as soon as possible, we did the transplant. In a few months' time, my hemoglobin from 5, it went up to like 15, and I felt better, I looked better, I could walk much faster, and it's like back from the dead. Actually speaking, back from the dead. Nobody can say that I'm a kidney transplant. Nobody can say, because I don't have any symptoms at all.
One fine day,
I had a dinner and suddenly I vomited and I had a breathlessness. So immediately my parents took me to hospital.
So immediately we went to the hospital and finally they decided kidney failure is there.
From 2011 till today, I am in the CAPD treatment. Do my regular activities day by day with CAPD. I am going to office working for 12 hours per day. I am doing my normal regular activities. I am driving to my office from my home almost 2 hours per day and going and returning. So totally 4 hours driving per day.
2007, I got both the kidneys failed. And immediately I was in dialysis, hemodialysis. Even now, what happened in the COVID time, somewhere I'm not sure how we got a COVID. So all the family members, myself, my brother, my father, my mother, and my sister-in-law, there is my sister-in-law's uncle, even all the 6 people got COVID positive. Mom was very critical. So doctors called me and said that mom, there's only 50% of chance for mom.
All of a sudden, I started developing further complications, and I was shifted to the more critical care block.
I stayed there nearly 23 days in hospital and had dialysis during the corona also.
And now I think I'm far better. I do all my domestic work, right from cooking and everything, as far as I take care of my house.
After discharge, I had I never had any problem.
2004 நாங்க வந்து அமெரிக்கா சுற்றுப்பயணம் சென்றோம். நாங்க ஃபீனிக்ஸ்ல இருக்கும்போது எனக்கு மெட்ராஸ்ல இருந்து கால் வந்தது. இந்த மாதிரி உங்க சிஸ்டர்லாக்கு வந்து கிட்னி ஃபெயிலியரா இருக்கு. I started doing all the tests. ஒண்ணா கிளிக் பண்ணிட்டே வந்தேன், பாஸ் பண்ணிட்டு வந்தேன். ஃபைனலி நான் கிட்னி கொடுக்கிறது அப்படின்னு டிசைட் ஆச்சு. ஆபரேஷன் வாஸ் சக்சஸ்ஃபுல். அதுக்கப்புறம் 2 பேரும் நல்லபடியா இருந்தோம், ஒரு பிரச்சனையும் இல்லை. டோனர் கிட்னி கொடுக்கறதுனால பிரச்சனைகள் பெருசா வராது. சோஃபார் நம்ம ஒழுங்கா நம்ம ஹெல்த்தை மெயின்டைன் பண்ணி டெஸ்ட் எல்லாம் பண்ணிருந்தோம்னா ஆரோக்கியமா இருக்கலாம். நான் இப்போ சக்சஸ்ஃபுல்லா டிராமா போட்டு எல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
My age was 32 years and I used to fall sick occasionally and I used to go to my physician. He found that the kidneys had shrunk. The only treatment is a transplant. I was one of those rare transplant and it's almost 33 years. All the activities like biking, cycling, trekking, camping, climbing mountain tops, paragliding. I traveled abroad and in India, most of the locations. I have completed Hajj. Death is inevitable, but my death will never ever be due to a kidney failure.
In its silver jubilee year, the Sapiens Health Foundation has resolved to save lives from the silent killer, salt. Join us by taking the pledge to decrease salt, increase life.
Over to Dr. Ravichandran to share his thoughts.
Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, former Vice President of India, my friend, superstar Shri Rajinikanth, my colleague, Professor Narasimhan, the President of the Indian Society of Hypertension and Vice President of the World Hypertension League, Dr. Amit Shah, Executive Director, Resolve to Save Lives India. It's a huge organization in the US, globally, well-known, involved, implicated with healthcare and prevention. Madhu Balaji of the Crazy Creations, dignitaries and friends. I am very excited to see such a large crowd to celebrate the completion of 25 years of Sapiens Health Foundation. Thanks to Mr. Subba Reddy of the Seabros, who has been telling me every time, Doctor, we should have a large gathering and we should have it in Music Academy. I think he has a special affinity to Music Academy. So we should thank Subba Reddy for this idea. Sapiens Health Foundation. When I came today, my friend from Bombay, Dr. Sanjay Kapote, asked me, why is it called Sapiens Health Foundation? Actually, in 1997, we established it as Balaji Medical and Educational Trust. So a couple of years later, I had some investigating authority coming to me and questioning about a medical college. So I said, I don't run a medical college. What is this? Then I found out there are several Balaji Medical Educational Trusts. So then I said we should change, get a unique name. The word sapiens means wisdom. The word sapiens means wisdom. So we are human beings, Homo sapiens. So we are wise. That's how we are different from animals. So I said it's a wisdom, wise, and a foundation which is connected with health. Foundation looks more reputable than a trust, the word trust. The word trust seems to have lost the trust of people. So we changed it to Sapiens Health Foundation. Now I find if I Google in those days, we were the only foundation. Now I find Sapiens also is becoming common, but I'm not going to change it. It's going to remain as Sapiens Health Foundation. Going back on the journey of Sapiens Health Foundation, before that, I'd like to go back on my life's journey and recall some people who have made this achievement possible. First and foremost, my parents. I was born and brought up in Bombay. So I studied in the South Indian Welfare Society High School. We were living in a place called Ghatkopa, and the school was located in a place called Vadala. Those who are from Bombay would know the distance between the two. You had to change 2 trains to reach Vadala. And my father was insistent that we should learn in South Indian Welfare Society High School because we should learn Tamil, our mother tongue, as a language. I am deliberately putting this because I have heard Sri Venkaiah Naidu ji on several occasions emphasizing the importance of learning mother tongue. So I'm sure many would have heard it before. So that's a great advantage to me. When I moved to 1983 to Chennai, knowing Tamil made a great difference, and it has helped me, of course, very much in my practice. I studied at the GS Medical College and KM Hospital, a very reputed institution. So I stood first in the intermediate science in the Bombay University, and more important, my whole medical education was free. MBBS, MD and nephrology. This is amazing. This cannot happen anywhere in the world other than India, where you can get a full medical education which is free. Possibly that's the reason why I want to give back to the society. I would like to recall, this is Professor V.S. Asgaonkar. He was the founder, member of the Diabetic Association of India. He was a great clinician. He was the man who was responsible for me getting interested in clinical medicine. Clinical medicine is very important. Any amount of investigations or scans are not a substitute for a good clinical history and examination. There are several stories which can illustrate this. I had a famous Katha exponent coming to me several years back with a history of fever for 2 months. He had visited several hospitals, several costly scans, PET scans were done, and the diagnosis was not established. And then he came to me. I examined him and of course took a history. I found that recently he took to snuff inhaling. And what was responsible for the fever was the allergy to snuff. No scan diagnosed this. So we stopped his snuff and he improved remarkably. A similar example was of Dr. B.C. Roy. I'm sure many of you would have heard of it. A man in Kolkata went to B.C. Roy and he said, "Sir, I am getting headache every day when I go to the office. When I come home in the evening, my headache is gone." So I've gone to several doctors and everybody says this is psychological. You have a psychological problem. So then B.C. Roy examined him and took a history and he said, this is because a tight tie you are wearing while going to the hospital. This is affecting the blood flow from the head. You are getting headache. When you come back at home and remove the tie, you are all right. So this cannot be picked up by a scan. Any amount of PET scan or any investigation can't pick this up. So a man with clinical history, this is very, very important. Unfortunately, this is going down. Clinical medicine is going down. And he's also responsible, Dr. Azgaonkar. I'm sure many of my patients would agree. I know the patient's name, more than 20,000 patients by name. And this was a skill. This was a skill taught to me by Professor Azgaonkar. He used to call everybody by name. I won't reveal the secret behind it. I did my formal education in nephrology under Dr. Vidya N. Acharya. She is the first woman nephrologist in this country, and she was running the most disciplined unit. And in Bombay, she was running one of the best dialysis units. Anybody who used to come with a poisoning, it's a corporation hospital, government hospital, believe it. In the next 10 minutes, patient would be on dialysis. This would not happen even in a private hospital. That is the way she was running the hospital, Dr. Vidya N. Acharya. Of course, I moved to Madras, Chennai rather, in 1984, and my teacher in practical medicine was Dr. M.K. Mani. I'm sure many of you would know him, a man with superlative qualities and extremely disciplined person. This is a rare man. Very difficult to get this photograph. He was shy of camera. Those who are more than 60 years from Chennai would recognize this man. It is on the left side of the photograph to you. Dr. T.J. Cherian, a very famous man. In those days, before 80s, anybody who be a VIP from Chennai would be his patient. He would know everybody. A man of few words, but he was an amazing man with compassion to patient. So what did I learn with him? I started my practice in Vijaya Hospital in 1985. And the first thing, he called me to his room and he said, "Ravi, don't worry for money. Just think of patient's health, money will automatically come." Till today, this motto has been helpful to me, and I'm sure it could be a great tip to many of the doctors that money is not the primary concern, and patient's welfare is the primary concern. So I started my practice in 1985 at Vijaya Hospital, and roaring practice till 1997. Those days, nephrologists in Chennai were very few and always very busy. So in 1997, a patient asked me, she improved after my correct diagnosis. She had gone to several doctors, and because of my correct diagnosis, she improved. And she said, "Are you helping patients with kidney disease? Every year I donate money to cancer patients. Are you helping?" So I was really taken back, and I said, "What am I doing? Am I really helping or not?" So then she gave me a corpus of 3 lakhs, and we started the foundation in 1997. This is a lady from Salem, still I remember. We had our first publication in 1999. Rashida Bhagat from the Indian Express wrote about us, a trust of, by and for patients. The trust was run by my own transplant patients. It was administered day to day. It was for my patients, and the money was also generated from my own patients. So initially when we started the trust, we were used to subsidize dialysis and kidney transplantation. In those days, the cost of dialysis was only 450 rupees. So we used to give 50 rupees discount per dialysis. And that made so much difference to people. A couple of years back, a lady came to me and she said, I would like to donate 2 lakhs to your foundation. And my son is doing very well in US. I said, why? She said, my husband was on dialysis with you in those days. And you gave 50 rupees per dialysis. We still remember that. Such a small amount of 50 rupees made a great difference to that person's life. So it's not the amount, it is the gesture which is very, very important. You have to have that compassion to patient. Where it is possible to reduce the cost or help a patient, you should do it. So then we realize that if you get a kidney disease or you land up on dialysis, you end up spending almost 30 lakhs in your lifetime. You have diagnosis, you have investigations, you have dialysis, you have transplantation. So what is more important is prevention, not just helping dialysis alone. So then the world leaders in prevention of kidney disease are the Japanese. So the Japanese have a program. Every year, every school child will have the urine examination tested. This is mandatory by the government. So they pick up the kidney disease early and treat these people, and they have reduced the number of patients on dialysis. Unfortunately, now India has the maximum number of patients. We don't have such preventive programs in a large way. So the Japanese are the world leaders, and we have been collaborating with Professor Toma and Tanabe from the Tokyo Women's Medical College from 2003. So we of course launched the website, sugarbp.org in front of, Kamala Hassan launched it, and in 2009. We called it sugarbp.org because in India, if I ask a patient, do you have diabetes? He says no. You have hypertension? He says no. Then he says, I have sugar, sir. I have BP, sir. So we said, okay, call it sugarbp.org. Very easy to remember. Just type sugarbp and you get back into our website. We give you tips how to protect your kidney. The website is in 3 languages, Tamil, English and Hindi. The maximum hits, you won't believe, is in Tamil. And it is from Sri Lanka and Malaysia. Of course, this is a very interesting project we have. I'm recalling some of the milestones of the foundation. The self-detection, like how you can detect pregnancy at home. You can put a strip in the urine and detect. Similar to that, we made a strip where you at home you can check. You check your urine, you will know whether there is presence of protein or not. The first marker of a kidney disease is a protein leak in urine. So if you detect kidney disease at that stage, you can reverse it. So we started the self-detection of kidney disease, and we took to various colleges in and around Chennai, and we have published this data in the International Journal, and we also presented it in the American Society of Nephrology. 5,000 college students who were examined for self-detection of kidney disease. Of course, this is a rare orphan disease called the cystinosis Foundation of India. This was launched by Sri Rajinikanth, superstar, and this was in 2010. This is an orphan disease. An orphan disease is a disease which is very rare. There are only 2,000 children in the world suffering from this cystinosis. And we are the 11th foundation in the world. And we have 46 children in India who are registered for this. We help these children from our foundation. The cost of the drug comes to about 3 to 4 lakhs a year. Unfortunately, for some regulations, we are not able to make the drug in India, although we have the molecule made in IIT Chennai. Because of the drug regulation, we have to import it, and the cost is extremely high. Of course, every year we conduct the World Kidney Day, we celebrate. So the World Kidney Day started from 2010 by the International Society. So what we do is we have one celebrity and an expert speaker. An expert speaker will exponent on the team, and the celebrity helps us to send the message across the people. This is again an unusual program in the world where we assist people on peritoneal dialysis. You must have heard of dialysis machines being donated to Rotary Club, Lions Club and all. Subsidized dialysis is being done for 400 rupees, 500 rupees or even free. What we do is we believe that going to a hospital and undergoing affects your time sense, and you are not able to work back fully. So in peritoneal dialysis, you can dialyze yourself at home, and daytime you can work. 7 by 7 days in a week, you can do all your work and you can dialyze yourself at home. So we help for these patients. We help patients, we give them concessions, discounts to undergo peritoneal dialysis. Of course, this is a very interesting Tamil play. The Nalandana people who have been playing for us, we launched it again in 2015. It's a street play. See, it's a misconception that diabetes and blood pressure is a disease of the rich. If you see, even the poor people, hypertension and diabetes is rampant, especially hypertension. It's because of the high salt intake. So we take this Tamil plays to lower socioeconomic strata, buildings, tenements, etc. And we have simple, hilarious, humorous play where they bring out the importance of high blood pressure, salt consumption, regular exercise, avoiding drugs across the counter, etc. Very popular move, which is being done all over in and around Chennai. Of course, our flagship program, salt reduction in the population. This we started in 2010. You can see Crazy Mohan in this. He was our ambassador right from 2010 till its death. And of course, Madhu Balaji has been taking over. And Crazy Mohan always used to say, salt illa assaulta irukadinga. And he had some punch dialogues like that. Uppilla pandam kuppayile. Uppilla pundam toppayile. So he used to have a reverse. So we have a lot of these salt marches we conduct. We have conducted in several cities, not just in Chennai alone, where we make people aware that they should reduce their salt consumption. We have conducted international conferences with the help of IIT, both Chennai and Bombay. You can see Soumya Swaminathan of the WHO. At that time, she was with the WHO. And Professor McGregor of the WASH, World Action and Salt and Health. This was started in 2005 in the UK. UK has the best program for fight against salt. So one of the important anecdotes of McGregor I will tell you, which will also you can see in the next slide. We had a conference in IIT Chennai, and one of the persons got up and he said, "Doctor, my blood pressure is low, so my general practitioner advises me to take more salt." He didn't know that salt is not only connected with high blood pressure, even in the absence of producing blood pressure, it damages the blood vessel. So Professor McGregor got down and shook his hand. He said, "Congratulations, your blood pressure is low. Please change your doctor." So the theme for today, decrease salt, increase life. This has been our theme from 2010, and we got the Notable Achievement Award also in 2013 from the World Hypertension League. So as I mentioned, all of you are aware that salt is connected with blood pressure. But you are not aware that in the absence of raising your blood pressure also, it can produce heart attacks or strokes. This is a very important thing. It affects the lining of the blood vessel even when the blood pressure doesn't go up. So it doesn't mean that if your blood pressure is normal, you can take more salt. So WHO's recommendation. What does WHO say? That you can take up to 5 grams of salt from all sources. It is very important to correctly mention this. When I used to tell the patients initially, you are allowed 5 grams of salt. So they think that in addition to whatever they are eating, they can add another 5 grams. So it's very important to know that 5 grams is for all sources. Natural food, salt that is used during cooking, and the hidden salt, which is present in, it's a preservative, present in packed food. So when you take preserved food like bread, so you will have salt in that. So very important to know that the total salt consumption should be low and not just the added salt. See, there are very few studies. I should mention since Sri Venkaya Naidu is here. So there was a couple of studies from India, and the best way to find out how much salt you are taking is to do the 24 hours urine sodium. See, salt. See, if I tell a patient how much salt you are taking, nobody has ever accepted that he is taking high salt. Everybody says, "Sir, enga veetla eppiyume uppu korachal." So this is the standard dialogue I always hear. Nobody accepts that he is taking more salt. So the best way, I was just telling Dr. Amit Shah, we should include it in the master health checkup. See the urine sodium. If I look at the urine sodium, I know how much salt you are taking. I don't have to, because whatever salt you consume is lost from blood only in the urine. Sweat hardly has salt. So everything goes in the urine. If I do a urine estimation, I can find out. You cannot cheat. So I can find out how much salt you are taking. So this can be included as a part of a regular test. So there is an interesting study in Andhra. What they did was they found out that how much salt is consumed by the households and divided by the number of persons. And the shocking news was they found that it was 35 grams. So obviously, of course, the local people do eat more salt, but there is a flaw in the methodology. People don't calculate properly, and whatever food is lost, etc., are not included. So the best way is to look at the urine sodium. So today we are launching 4 posters. The first one is about the 5 grams of salt. How do we achieve it? The second poster is again, what is the salt requirement in children? It's very important to realize children require less salt than adults. Actually, in the first year of life, salt should not be given. And only by the age of 12 years, the child should come to the near adult salt administration. This is very important. It's followed in the UK. UK has one of the best successful salt reduction programs. In school children, Dr. Ravichandran told me that school children are given food without salt. So it's very important that in schools, food is served without salt. Children require less salt. The third poster is on avoid the salt shaker. We put this because we have been going to various restaurants and telling them, don't keep the salt shaker on the table. People order for a soup. Before they taste, they just go on talking and adding salt into it. They don't even bother to taste it. So they take so much extra salt. So don't keep it on the table. If they ask for it, it's their poison. But don't keep it on the table. Many of the restaurants have helped us for that. The fourth one, again, is a misconception that if you reduce salt, the taste is gone. See, this is again wrong in the sense, if you reduce salt, you may find it difficulty initially, but your taste buds start recovering. Then you will start appreciating the taste better. See, salt and sugar are dominant tastes. If you take them more, a French chef said, if my cooking is bad, I will add more salt. If my cooking is good, I will add less salt. Because you can appreciate the flavors of various ingredients only if you have less salt. That is the third poster. And of course, we have a poster, the fourth poster also. I mean the fifth one, which is on in Tamil. Again, Uppai Kurappom, Vazhvai Valarpom. This is two days back. On 9th of, Dr. Amit Shah would agree with me. He is involved with this. On 9th of March, the WHO released a bulletin. And it said that massive efforts are needed to reduce salt intake and protective lives. They say within the next 2 years, you have to come down by 30% the salt intake. Otherwise, the deaths, 100 million deaths are expected in the next 2 decades related to salt consumption and its complications. So it has asked the countries to take action, and only 9 countries in the world have legislation to control salt intake. 72 countries have some guidelines. Many of the other countries have no guidelines. It's unfortunate that India does not have still a clear guideline on the salt consumption. Unfortunately, even the Food and Safety Association has not made it mandatory to put sodium in the labeling. Salt is not put in the label. They put other contents, fat, protein. Whenever you buy an article, you can read what is the fat content, protein content, carbohydrate, calories, etc. But sodium is not mentioned. And second thing, we should get rid of the word sodium. See, in UK, they are very clear. Please add the word salt, because there is a confusion. 1 gram of sodium is equal to 2.5 grams of salt, common salt. So if you put salt, people will know it better than sodium. And more interestingly, what they say, like in UK, put a signal labeling. If you put a red label, you know that the salt composition is high. You don't have to tell the person how much it is. Yellow, it's like the signal. Yellow is okay, borderline. Red means it is bad. Yellow means borderline. And green means the salt intake is low. This is a very important. Several studies, 150 studies have come out, pointing out on the benefit of low salt intake. I am just mentioning Professor McGregor's study, which shows clearly strokes and heart attacks are reduced considerably if you bring down the salt intake. This year itself, there have been 5 publications scientific evidence to show that reduced salt is important in the diet. You go to the US or you go to the UK, anywhere in the world, you have an unsalted substitute that is available. You will have unsalted chips. You have unsalted puffs, anything. Whereas in India still it's not available. Today we have made it with a company, and when you leave, unfortunately in Music Academy we can't give the food when you enter. So when you leave, please collect your unsalted snack. We have made it, and please give your feedback in our website. Before I conclude my talk, I have to recall two people. One is Miyot International, who have always been supportive of me in the last 15 years for running my foundation, and Ravichandran, P.V. Ravichandran, retired chief engineer from the army. He served the nation in a dedicated way in the first half of life, and the day of retirement, he joined our foundation. He was a backbone of our foundation, and recently we lost him, so he served us with the same dedication as he served the nation. I'm sure many of you who have connection with your foundation would know Mr. Ravichandran. Lastly, I'll wind up with this talk, a very exciting news from Professor Tanabe from Tokyo. So he was the chairman of the Tokyo Women's Hospital and a very senior scientist and the world authority on transplants across blood groups. Now his message has been that there is a molecule called apoptosis inhibitor of macrophages, AIM. This molecule, it digests the waste products in the body, the cells, and it acts as an internal dialysis. So they have been able to avoid dialysis in experimental animals. He feels that with this molecule, it would be possible to get patients out of dialysis. So it's a very exciting news, and he would like to collaborate with our foundation. So with this exciting news, I conclude my talk and thank each one of you for having this function successful. Thank you.
That was truly an awesome and inspiring address by Dr. Rajan Ravichandran. Now we move to Dr. Narasimhan to share his thoughts, particularly in the context of what Dr. R.C. explained.
Good evening, everyone. Most respected former Vice President of India, Venkaiah Naidu, sir. The great actor, our superstar, Rajinikanth. Dr. Rajan Ravichandran, my friend. Dr. Amit Shah, who has come from Delhi. Mr. Sundar of Sapiens Foundation and Balaji. And I see a lot of people here, many of dignitaries of the dais, some retired judges have been seen by me. Many people in the audience are having adequate knowledge in the field of hypertension, in the field of diabetes, in the field of kidney disease. But Dr. Rajan Ravichandran made it simple for you to understand what is required. It is my pleasure today to join the Sapiens Health Foundation Silver Jubilee celebration, which is being witnessed by all of us. The hard work, the dedication, and the involvement by Dr. Rajan Ravichandran had made this Sapiens Foundation to reach its goal of 25 years of completion. The way in which the patients were praising him the day when he started his practice, the day when he learned many things from the nephrologists, from the physicians, how to diagnose clinically many problems, what made him to become a nephrologist, what made him to be a simple person. I am able to grasp many things by his lecture here. Today I am very much happy to get associated with all of you for this function. And I must thank Dr. Rajan Ravichandran for giving me this opportunity to be with you. In fact, he had invited me when I was attending some other conference, and he told me that since you are the President of the Indian Society of Hypertension, I request you to be here. I said, I just now handed over charge to the other person, and now I am the immediate past president of the Indian Society of Hypertension. But at the same time, I told him that I was given an opportunity to serve the society they have absorbed me as a vice president of the World Hypertension League. When I informed him, he was too glad to receive this information and requested me to be here. That is why I am here to share some experiences with respect to hypertension. You know, there are about 5 diseases which are to be considered as non-communicable diseases. One is heart disease, 2 diabetes, 3 hypertension or high blood pressure, the 4th is cancer, the 5th one the kidney disease. If you are able to control, prevent these problems, it is possible to reduce the morbidity and mortality in future. I think the prevention is the key message that one has to adopt to bring down the morbidity and the mortality due to all these non-communicable diseases. In fact, on 9th of March, many of you probably would have come to know that the World Kidney Day was celebrated. When I was asking Dr. Ravichandran, he said it is combined with the Sapiens Foundation as Silver Jubilee celebration. I am really happy that it has combined here. The World Kidney Day theme was that it is a kidney health for all. I think many advertisements had come from various hospitals in the city of Chennai. Many of you would have seen it. The problem is that the kidney diseases cannot be diagnosed quickly. The early diagnosis is usually missed. Most of the people, even in our country, probably reach at the stage when they reach grade 3 or the stage 3 kidney disease. Only then they seek the advice from the physician or the nephrologist. By the time the 1 stage gone, 2nd stage gone, 3rd stage gone. So by the time the patient sees the doctor, probably he had reached the 3rd stage or the 4th stage of the kidney disease. One of my professors used to tell, nursing and don't worry about these kidney problems. Even the lighter when he was telling, when this kidney problem starts, the person who is affected by this disease got more money, more urine. And when he goes to the other stage, less money, less urine. When he goes to the 3rd or the 4th stage, no urine, no money. And Dr. Ravichandran was telling that 35 lakhs had to be spent by patients for going for renal replacement therapy or the renal transplantation. And you can understand the magnitude of the problem of kidney disease in our country. The role played by hypertension is again very, very simple. When you have hypertension, it is likely to affect kidneys. When you have a kidney disease, it is likely to increase the blood pressure. Linked. Hypertension is very, very important to diagnose very early. In fact, hypertension is a major risk factor for stroke, for heart attack, for heart failure, and kidney failure. But one has to remember that yet another problem that probably everybody is missing, including the doctors, dementia, which is now gaining much importance, forgetfulness. The forgetfulness of the dementia is a problem that can occur as a complication of an uncontrolled hypertension. In fact, the World Hypertension League, it is a non-profit organization that actually comprises about 80 nations. One of the nations which is represented is by India, the Indian Society of Hypertension. An individual cannot become a member of World Hypertension League. Only the associations can become. So one of the associations of the 80 is Indian Society of Hypertension. Our aim is to detect. Our aim is to evaluate. Our aim is to control the blood pressure in an appropriate manner. Every year, we always have World Hypertension Day, which is celebrated on 17th May. This year, we have chosen a theme, measure your blood pressure accurately, control it, and live longer. That's the message what we are going to spread across the nation, across the globe on World Hypertension Day, which is going to be on 17th May. In fact, there are many things which probably one has to understand. I don't want to take much of your time because the chief guests and the guests of honors are all waiting to address you. But I'll tell you, there are many things which you can probably remember about the control of hypertension, the control of diabetes, the control of cholesterol. I can give you simple tips. Remember 80, a number. If you have 80 milligrams of blood sugar value in the fasting state, good. If you have 80 millimeters of diastolic blood pressure, 120, 80, 80 is the down figure. If it is maintained around that, it's good. If you have a bad cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, if it is maintained around 80 milligrams, good. If you are able to bring down your smoking, stop your smoking, it's good. But I would advise you to go away 80 meters away from smokers so that you can avoid passive smoking. Apart from smoking advice given to all patients, you need to keep 80 meters away from those people who are smoking to avoid a passive smoking. Then the control of your diet, very important. To control hypertension, the salt reduction. In fact, the salt reduction is one of the primary focus of our attention from World Hypertension League. Resolve to save lives. I think it is being represented by our own person, Amit Shah from Delhi. I came to know that only recently. So, resolve to save lives is the motto of World Hypertension League. It was also published in the leading journals. So, we have the representation from International Society of Hypertension. We have representation from WHO. The WHO recommends the global intake of salt by an individual is 10.8 grams. In India, what's recommended is about 5 grams, equal to 2,000 milligrams of sodium. The salt is sodium chloride. Sodium is 2,000, whereas you remember sodium chloride, which we consume normally, should not exceed 5 grams. He has identified all the items which would contain a lot of salt. I don't want to waste your time now by giving you a lot of information about salt content. Salt increases the blood pressure. If you are cutting down the salt intake, it can prevent the onset of hypertension. It can prevent the onset of the kidney disease. Good. So, if you remember this 80, I think that will probably be very valid information, what I thought I should share it with you. If you maintain 80 milligrams of fasting blood sugar, 80 of diastolic blood pressure, 80 milligram of LDL cholesterol, keeping yourself 80 meters away from a fellow who is smoking, and stopping alcohol, reducing the salt, good amount of exercise. If you do all these things, you will live for more than 80 years. I'm sure about it. I'm sure. Because you are adopting all preventive strategies. That is most important. And diet. One has to eat to live. And one should not live to eat. That's again another very important message, ladies and gentlemen, that I am trying to share it with you. Obesity. In our country, it is increasing. Nearly about 33.3% of the people are obese. They also have metabolic syndrome, which is actually edging these people to the development of diabetes, high blood pressure, cholesterol problems, heart attack. Without even developing diabetes, they jump into complication of heart attack and die. So the weight has to be reduced. The more you weigh, the sooner you die. Please remember that. The best road to health is to keep ideal body weight. These are certain informations and the tips what I thought I should give it to you on the day when Sapiens Foundation is celebrating the Silver Jubilee. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for patient listening.
I request Dr. Rajan Ravichandran to thank Dr. S.N. Narasimhan with a shawl and a memento. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now you can applaud loudly, admire and appreciate as our superstar will enlighten all of us with his erudite address.
மதிப்புக்கும் மரியாதைக்குரிய most respected our former Vice President Venkaiah Naidu ji, இந்த விழாவோட நாயகன் ரவிச்சந்திரன் சார், நரசிங்கன் சார், அமித்ஷா, சுந்தர், பாலாஜி, all dignitaries, media, எல்லாருக்கும் என்னுடைய அன்பாத வணக்கங்கள். அறிவு சொல்லும் என்ன பேசணும்னு, திறமை சொல்லும் எப்படி பேசணும்னு, அரங்கம் சொல்லும் எவ்வளோ பேசணும்னு, அனுபவம் சொல்லும் என்ன பேசணும் என்ன பேசக்கூடாதுன்னு. இப்ப இங்க என்னுடைய அனுபவம், என்னுடைய அறிவு சொல்லுது, நீங்க வந்தது ஓகே, நீங்க பேசுறதுக்கு ஏன் ஒத்துக்கிட்ட அப்படின்னு என்னுடைய அனுபவம் அறிவு சொல்லுது. ஸோ ரொம்ப ஜாக்கிரதையா பேசு, நீ போற வேற மாதிரி கூட்டம் எல்லாம் கிடையாது. இது இல்லை ஜட்ஜஸ், டாக்டர்ஸ், எல்லாம் ஒயிட் காலர்ஸ். நீ அறிவு காட்டணும்னு சொல்லி ஃபேஸ்புக்கு, இன்டர்நெட்டு, யூடியூப்பு அதில் பார்த்ததெல்லாம் வந்து இங்கே அவுத்து விட்டுடாத. அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும், சில பேர் சிரிப்பாங்க, சில பேர் அவரை பார்த்து உள்ளேயே சிரிச்சிட்டு இருப்பாங்க. இப்போ எல்லாம் மீடியா இன்ஃபர்மேஷன் டெக்னாலஜி டெவலப் ஆகி எல்லாருமே ஜெர்னலிஸ்ட் தான், எல்லாருமே சயின்ஸ் தான், எல்லாருமே சயின்டிஸ்ட் தான், எல்லாருமே டாக்டர்ஸ் தான். ஸோ ரொம்ப அளவா பேசணும். இதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து வெங்கையாஜி அவர் பேச்சு பற்றி ஒரு தெரியும், அவர் பேச்சு வந்து நாம் வந்து கேட்கணும். முதல்ல வந்து வெங்கையாஜியை பற்றி நிறைய பேருக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும். அவர் வந்து ஒரு ஆந்திர பிரதேசில் வந்து நெல்லூரில் வந்து ஒரு குக்கிராமத்தில் வந்து பிறந்தவர். குக்கிராமம், சாதாரண ஃபேமிலி, அங்கே ஸ்கூலே கிடையாது. அங்கிருந்து வேறு வில்லேஜுக்கு போய் அங்கே போய் படிச்சு அவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து வைசாக்ல வந்துட்டு ஆந்திரா யூனிவர்சிட்டியில் வந்து அங்கே சேர்ந்து அப்போ வந்து 73ல அப்பவே வந்து யூத் லீடர் ஆகி அப்பவே வந்து ஜனதா பார்ட்டி அதில் சேர்ந்து அதுக்கப்புறம் அது பிஜேபி பார்ட்டி ஆகி அதில் வந்து அப்பவே வந்து வேலை செஞ்சு பிரசிடென்ட் ஆகி வாஜ்பாய்ஜி அவர் வந்து அவர் ஊர் போயிருக்கும்போது இவரே வந்து போஸ்டர் எல்லாம் ஒட்டி ஸோ அந்த பிஜேபியில் வந்து ஸ்டேட் பிரசிடென்ட் ஆகி ஆல் இண்டியா பிஜேபி பிரசிடென்ட் ஆகி கேபினெட் சென்ட்ரல் மினிஸ்டர் ஆகி வைஸ் பிரசிடென்ட் ஆகி ஒரே பார்ட்டியில இருந்து ஒரு சின்ன அழுக்கு கூட, ஒரு ஸ்கார் கூட அவருடைய பொலிட்டிக்கல் இமேஜ்ல கிடையாது. சின்ன ஸ்கார் கூட கிடையாது. irrespective of party, everybody respected him in Delhi, even now. In fact, when he took oath as a vice president, I was very upset because I'm not degrading that post, the highest second post in our constitution, but it has a very little power. Very little power. Protocol, conditions, and such a fantastic politician, vibrant politician. We need, as a minister in a political world, actually, as a talented, vibrant, open, truthful. No, because his term is over, that's why I'm openly telling it. So, anyway, so என்னுடைய நல்ல நண்பர், நம்ம அடிக்கடி வந்து அவர்கிட்ட நம்ம பேசுவோம். அண்ட் ரவிச்சந்திரன் அவர்களை பற்றி வந்து நான் டாக்டர்னு சொல்ல மாட்டேன், என்னுடைய பெஸ்ட் ஃப்ரெண்டுன்னு சொல்லுவேன். இப்ப நான் வந்து ஒரு ஆரோக்கியமா இப்ப வந்து பேசிட்டு இருக்கேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னதுக்கு வந்து காரணமே அவர் தான். 2010 வந்துட்டு எனக்கு வந்து அவருடைய இன்ட்ரடக்ஷன் ஆச்சு. ஸோ தட் இஸ் மை லக்கி டே இன் மை லைஃப். நான் வேற ஒரு ஹாஸ்பிட்டல் பேர் சொல்ல விரும்பல. அங்கே வந்து கிட்னி ப்ராப்ளம்ல மல்டிபிள் ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ், கிட்னி ப்ராப்ளம் மெயின். அங்கே இருக்கும்போது அங்கே ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் வந்து அவ்வளோ வந்து சரியாதிச்சிங்களே. எனக்கு வந்து டவுட் வந்த பிறகு த பெஸ்ட், ஒன் ஆஃப் த பெஸ்ட் டாப் நெப்ராலஜிஸ்ட் இன் அவர் கண்ட்ரி ரவிச்சந்திரன் அவர்களை என்னுடைய பெஸ்ட் ஃப்ரெண்ட் வந்து இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ் பண்ணாங்க. தென் ஹி டேக்கன் ஓவர், என்னை வந்து எடுத்துட்டு அப்போலேருந்து என்னை வந்து ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் கொடுத்து, அப்போவே வந்து எனக்கு ஒரு 60% வந்து கிட்னி வந்து டேமேஜாக இருந்தது. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து நீங்கள் அப்படியே நம்ம வந்து பார்க்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு மெடிக்கேஷன்லேயே வந்து கொண்டு வந்து அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு பாயிண்ட் ஆன பிறகு இல்லை இதை இங்கே வந்து டிரான்ஸ்பிளான்ட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இஸ் ஸோ கேப்பபிள். இஸ் டாப், ஒன் ஆஃப் த டாப் மோஸ்ட். ஜஸ்ட் டெய்லி வந்துட்டு ஒரு 100-120 பேஷண்ட்ஸ் வந்து அவர் பார்க்குறாங்க. அவருடைய அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் கிடைக்கணும்னு சொன்னால் 3 months 4 months எல்லாம் வெயிட் பண்ணணும். அவர் வந்து இன்னைங்க இங்கே வந்து நம்ம நிறைய வந்து ஃபார்மாலிட்டிஸ் எல்லாம் இருக்கு. இங்கே பெரிய ஒரு செலிபிரிட்டி, நிறைய பப்ளிசிட்டி எல்லாம் ஆகும். ஸோ இங்கே பண்ண வேண்டாம். ராச்செஸ்டர் அங்கே வந்து மேயோ கிளினிக்னு இருக்கு. ஐ ஹர்ட் இது ஒன் ஆஃப் த பெஸ்ட் கிளினிக், த மெடிக்கல் சென்டர் தட் இஸ் தேர். அங்கே போய் நீங்கள் அது பண்ணிக்கிட்டா பெட்டர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அங்கே அவ்வளோ ஈஸி அப்பாயின்மெண்ட் கிடைக்காது. சின்ஸ் த மெடிக்கல் வேர்ல்டு நோஸ் வெரி மச் டாக்டர் ரவிச்சந்திரன், இவர் இன்ஃப்ளூயன்ஸில் வந்து எனக்கு வந்து அங்கே ஃபோன் பண்ணி அங்கே போய் அங்கே ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் எடுத்து அங்கே வந்துட்டு எனக்கு வந்து கிட்னி டிரான்ஸ்பிளான்ட் பண்ணாங்க. இன் இஸ் ஓன் எக்ஸ்பென்ஸ் he flew to America to see me there. அந்த டாக்டர்ஸோட அவங்க பேசி he taken so much care. அது பண்ண பிறகு அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்துட்டு இப்போ ஒன்று எதுலையும் கூட அவருடைய ட்ரீட்மெண்ட்டை வந்துட்டு கொஞ்சம் எப்படி இருக்கும்னு சொன்னால் எப்பவும் வந்து மருந்தில் வந்து கொஞ்சம் தேன் ஸ்வீட் கலப்பி கொடுத்து பண்ணணும் அப்படியெல்லாம் அவர்கிட்ட இருக்காது. பிளண்ட் ஸ்ட்ரைட், இதுதான் இப்படிதான் இப்படி பண்ணால் இப்படி இருக்கும், இப்படிதான் இப்படி ஆகாது, அவ்வளோதான், கட் அண்ட் ரைட். அதில் இதே கிடையாது. பிபி பார்க்கறது கூட உட்காரு, எந்திரி, படுத்துக்கோ அப்படின்னு. ஸோ கம்ப்ளீட்லி ஐ வாஸ் நல்லது இதாகும்போது எனக்கு வந்து ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு பரீட்சைன்னு சொல்லலாம். பாலிடிக்ஸ் நான் வந்து என்ட்ரு ஆகணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இதாகும்போது அன்எக்ஸ்பெக்டட்லி கொரோனா வந்துடுச்சு. நான் வந்து இம்யூனோசப்ரசன்ட் மெடிசன் சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இருக்கேன். கொரோனா வந்து செகண்ட் வேவ் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. நான் பாலிடிக்ஸ் கமிட் ஆயிட்டேன், பின்னாலே போக முடியாது. இந்த விஷயத்தையும் சொல்லக்கூடாது. நான் டாக்டர் கிட்ட நான் சொன்னேன், இல்லைங்க செகண்ட் வேவ் வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. as a doctor, நீங்க பொலிட்டிக்கல் பார்ட்டி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றது இது பண்றது ஐ காண்ட் இன்டர்ஃபியர் இன் தட். பட் as a டாக்டர் நீங்க வந்து இந்த கேம்பெயினிங் போறது, பப்ளிக்கை மீட் பண்றது, அதெல்லாம் சேவ் பண்ணக்கூடாது. செகண்ட் வேவ் வந்துட்டு இருக்கு. செகண்ட் வேவ் ஜெர்மன், இங்கிலாந்து அங்கெல்லாம் ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு. அங்கெல்லாம் இங்க வந்து எப்படி வந்து எலெக்ஷன் வந்து வச்சுக்கிறாங்க. ஸோ as a doctor, as a personal doctor, definitely I won't allow you for a campaign. If at all நீங்க அப்படி போகணும்னு சொன்னா 10 feet தள்ளிதான் போகணும். கேம்பெயின் திசைங்களா போகும்போது மாஸ்க் போட்டுதான் போனோம், மாஸ்க் எடுக்கவே கூடாது. தீஸ் ஆர் ஆல் த ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்ஷன்ஸ். நான் வேன் ஏறினாலே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மாஸ்க் எடுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. கூட்டம் வந்து 10 அடி சான்ஸே கிடையாது. எப்படி செய்ய முடியும்? இது எப்படி நான் வெளியே சொல்றது? சொன்னா நம்ம பயந்துட்டாங்க பாலிடிக்ஸ்க்கு. ஒரு வாட்டி முன்னாலே போன ரெப்புடேஷன் என்ன ஆகும், இப்படியெல்லாம் எனக்கு வந்து பயம் வருது. டாக்டர் கிட்ட சொன்ன அதுக்கெல்லாம் வந்து நீங்க வந்து பயப்பட வேண்டாம். நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, எந்த மீடியா கூப்பிடுங்க, நான் வந்து சொல்றேன். ஓகே, ஃபேன்ஸ் அவங்களை கூப்பிடுங்க, நான் சொல்றேன். ஃபேக்ட், ஹெல்த், இதுக்கு ஒன்னும் பயப்படாம போய் சொல்லல. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் நான் ஓப்பனா வந்து நான் பாலிடிக்ஸ் வரலன்னு சொல்லி இந்த ரீசன் நான் சொன்னேன். தட் இஸ் டாக்டர் ரவிச்சந்திரன். ஸோ இப்போ உப்பை பத்தி ஏதாவது இப்போ சொன்னேன், நிறைய பேசக்கூடாது, எல்லாம் பேசிட்டாங்க. என்னுடைய பர்சனல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் அது வந்து நான் சொல்றேன், ஒன்றும் இல்லை. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் வந்து நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னு சொன்ன அந்த உப்பு இப்போ வந்து நிறைய நீங்க வந்து சரக்கு போட்டா, சாரி சரக்குன்னா உங்களுக்கு பேர் புரியாது, நிறைய ஆல்கோஹால் போட்டா லிவர் பாதிக்கும். நிறைய தம் அடிச்சா, சிகரெட் அடிச்சா லங்ஸ் மட்டும் பாதிக்கும். நிறைய வந்து ஐ மீன் ரொம்ப வந்து ஹை ஃப்ரைடு, ஐ மீன் ஐட்டம்ஸ், நிறைய ஆயில் ஐட்டம்ஸ், ஃபேட்டி ஐட்டம்ஸ் சாப்பிட்டா ஹார்ட் வந்து அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணும். ஆனால் உப்பு கிடையாது. உப்பு ஜாஸ்தி ஆச்சுன்னா எல்லாருக்கும் அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணும், எல்லாருக்கும் அஃபெக்ட் பண்ணும். இந்த உப்புக்கு வந்து அவ்வளோ வந்து ஒரு பவர் இருக்கு. அதே மாதிரி இப்போ சொன்ன மாதிரி சாப்பாடில் வந்துட்டு காரம், அது இது, மசாலா கிசாலா, ஆயில் கீழ் எல்லாம் என்ன போட்டால் கூட கொஞ்சம் உப்பு போட்டால் அதெல்லாம் போயிடும். உப்பு மட்டும் தான் தெரியும். உப்பு கம்மி பண்ணா கூட தப்பு தான். ஸோ ஒரு மேரேஜுக்கு வந்து அவங்க மிஸ்ஸஸ் போயிருந்தாங்க. ஒரு மேரேஜ் மிஸ்ஸஸ் போயிட்டு சாப்பாடு சூப்பராக இருந்ததா. யார் அது சமையல்காரன் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. அவர் நாராயணன் சொல்லிட்டு பேரு. நம்ம வீட்டுக்கு அப்போ வந்து குக்கில் யாரோ வந்து இருந்த குக்கு வந்து இல்லை, அவர் வந்து ஏதோ உடம்பு சரியில்லை. நம்ம வீட்டுக்கு வந்து குக்கா வர்றீங்களா, சரி கரும்பு சாப்பிட்றதுக்கு கூலியாக கொடுக்கணும். சரி வந்து ஒரு குக்கு வந்து நம்ம வீட்டுக்கு வந்துட்டாங்க. சூப்பராக சமைக்கிறாங்க, செம்ம டேஸ்ட். அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு டேஸ்ட். சரி வெஜிடேரியன் தான், வெளியில நான்வெஜ் தான் சாப்பிட்றேன், வெஜிடேரியன் வந்து வீட்டில் தான் வீட்டில் சாப்பிட்றேன். இப்படியே வந்து சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இருக்கோம். பட் 2 பேருக்கும் வந்து பிபி ஏறிட்டே இருக்கு. என்னடான்னு பாக்குறோம், டாக்டர் எல்லாம் டெஸ்ட் பண்றோம். என்ன பார்த்தோம்னா பிபி, என்னடா இது பிபி ஏறிட்டு இருக்கு, 2 பேருக்கு ஏறிட்டே இருக்கு. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு ஃப்ரெண்டு, நல்ல ஃப்ரெண்டு வந்து இருக்காங்க, அவங்கள வந்து சாப்பாடு வீட்டில் கூப்பிட்டுருந்தேன். ஸோ சாப்பாடு சாப்பிட்டு எப்படி இருக்கு சாப்பாடுன்னு சொன்னா மற்றவங்களும் சாப்பிட்டுருக்காங்க. பட் வந்து உப்பு ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு, ஆயில் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்ல முடியாது இல்ல. நல்லா இருக்கு சொல்லிட்டு அப்புறம் பேசிக்குவாங்க. எங்க ஃப்ரெண்டா மூஞ்சி மேலேயே சொல்லிட்டாங்க, என்ன இவ்வளவு உப்பு இருக்கு, இவ்வளவு ஆயில் இருக்கு, எப்படி சாப்பிடுறீங்க அப்படி சொல்லி இப்படியே வருஷக்கணக்காக சாப்பிட்டுட்டு இருக்கோம் நம்ம வந்து. அதுக்கப்புறம் உடனே கூப்பிட்டு அது சேஞ்ச் பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் பிபி எல்லாம் கம்மியாச்சு. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி சமையல் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கும்போது நீங்களே வந்து உப்பு அதை பழகிட்டு வந்து அந்த பழகின பிறகு வந்து இப்படிதான் திசைங்க இருக்கும், மற்றவங்க படுக்காம அப்போதான் தெரியும். அண்ட் இன்னொரு இன்சிடென்ட் வந்து ஆக்சுவலி நான் சொல்லணும். இது ஆல்ரெடி நான் ஏற்கனவே நான் சொல்லியிருக்கேன். பட் இன்னும் இந்த டைத்தில் நான் வந்து அதை சொல்ல விரும்புறேன். ரிஷிகேஷ் நான் வந்து போயிட்டு இருக்கும் போகும்போது 98 அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறேன். அங்கே வந்து கைலாஷ் ஆசிரமம் இருக்கு. அந்த கைலாஷ் ஆசிரமம் வந்து அங்கே வந்து மட்டாதிபதி மெயின் பிரீஸ்ட். அவர் வந்து அங்கே வருவாங்க, இந்த சத் சங்கம் இந்த பிரவச்சனம் பண்றதுக்கு அங்கே வருவாங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னாங்க. சரி அவருக்கு வந்து 84 இயர்ஸ். சரி நான் வந்து ஒரு தொப்பையா திங்க வச்சுட்டு அப்படி வருவாரு, இல்லைன்னு வள்ளியா வருவாங்க அப்படின்னு நினைச்சிட்டு இருந்தா அவர் வந்தா கொஞ்சம் வயசான விவேகானந்தர் மாதிரி இருக்காரு. 61, 62க்குமே சொல்ல முடியாது. அப்படி ஜஸ்ட் வந்து கீழே வந்து உக்காந்துட்டு ஒரு பத்மாசனம் போட்டு சரி அவர் 2 hours சரி அவர் பேசினாரு. ஸோ நானும் வந்து கீழே தான் உட்காந்து 5 மினிட்ஸ்க்கெல்லாம் வந்து 4-5 வாட்டி எல்லாம் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணிக்கிட்டு நான் உட்காந்துட்டு இருந்தேன் கஷ்டமா. அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து சத்சங்கான பிறகு கேள்வி எல்லாம் வந்து கேளுங்கன்னு சொன்னாங்க. ஸோ அந்த கேள்வி கேட்கும்போது ஒவ்வொருத்தரும் வந்து மாண்டூக்கிய உபனிஷத், ஈஷோபனிஷத், அதை பத்தி எல்லாம் வந்து வேதாஸ் அதை பத்தி எல்லாம் கேட்டுட்டு இருந்தாங்க. நான் வந்துட்டு நீங்க வந்து வாட் இஸ் த உங்களுடைய ஹெல்த்தோட சீக்ரெட் என்ன, இவ்வளவு ஹெல்த்தியா இருக்கீங்க, அதை சொல்லவே அவ்வளோ ஃபுல்லா முடி அந்த மாதிரி அப்படி இருக்காங்க 61, 62. ஸோ அவர் சொன்னாங்க டெய்லி வந்து 60 இயர்ஸா டெய்லி 1 hour வாக் பண்றேன் அண்ட் 20 minutes ஸ்ட்ரெச்சிங், ஒரு 4-5 சிம்பிள் யோகா ஆசனாஸ் அது பண்றேன், ஒரு 20 minutes பிராணாயாம். அண்ட் சோஃபா மேலே சேர்ல எல்லாம் உட்காரது கிடையாது, கீழே தான் உட்காருது, தூங்குறது வந்து தரையில தான். அண்ட் மேக்சிமம் இந்த ஒயிட் ஃபுட் ஐட்டம்ஸ் அதை நான் வந்து அவாய்ட் பண்றேன். சுகர், சால்ட், ரைஸ், மைதா, பால், தயிர், வெண்ணெய், மாத்திரை இதெல்லாம் நான் வந்து அவாய்ட் பண்றேன். அண்ட் குரு மந்திரம், இந்த குரு மந்திரம் வந்து எப்பவும் ஜபிச்சுக்கிட்டு இருப்பேன். ஏதாவது எண்ணங்கள் வந்தா அந்த குரு மந்திரம் அதை வந்து ஆட் பண்ணிடுறேன். அந்த எண்ணங்கள் சேர பண்டல் ஆஃப் எண்ணங்கள் தான், பண்டல் ஆஃப் தாட்ஸ், தட் இஸ் மனசு, அதான் மனசு. ஸோ எண்ணங்கள் நல்லா இருந்தால் தான் மனசு நல்லா இருக்கும், மனசு நல்லா இருந்தால் தான் வாழ்க்கை நல்லா இருக்கும். ஸோ இந்த ஹியூமன் பாடி அது பார்க்கும்போது வாட் எ மெக்கானிசம், என்ன மெக்கானிசம் அந்த சூப்பர் மெக்கானிக் பண்ணியிருக்கிறது. என்ன ஒரு ஒன்றும் கிடையாது, ரொம்ப சிம்பிள். ஜஸ்ட் இந்த கை வந்துட்டு லப்டாப்னு சொல்லி ஒரு 2 hours கண்டினியூஸா பண்ணுங்க, அவ்வளவுதான். 2 நாளைக்கு வந்து ஒன்றும் பண்ண முடியாது, எடுக்க முடியாது. பிறந்ததுலேருந்து 70 வயசு 80 வயசு வரைக்கும் லேப்டாப் அடிச்சுட்டே இருக்கு. இத்தனை பேருக்கு யார ஒருத்தரால் அந்த ஒரு மிஷின் பண்ண முடியுமா? 10 வருஷம் 15 வருஷம் கூட தாங்காது. என்ன மெக்கானிசம்? பிளட் உடம்புல பசி வச்சு ஆடினவன், அந்த பசிக்கு ருசியான சாப்பாடு வச்சான், அப்பதான் சாப்பிடுவா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அதை வந்து அந்த நியூட்ரிஷன் பிளட் எல்லாம் வந்து மாற்றி அதனால வந்து அதுக்கு வந்து அதுக்கு தேவையான இன்கிரீடியன்ஸ் எல்லாம் நியூட்ரான் புரோட்டான்ஸ் எலக்ட்ரான் எல்லாமே கம்ப்ளீட்டா வந்து அதில் வந்து சேர்த்தான். இத்தனை சயின்டிஸ்ட் இத்தனை ரிசர்ச் சென்டர்ஸ் இவ்வளவு பெருசா போறாங்க. ஒரு டிராப் பிளட் நம்மளால பண்ண முடியுமா? பண்ண முடியாது. இதெல்லாம் தெரிஞ்சிருந்தும் சில பேர் கடவுள் இல்லைன்னு சொல்றாங்க. அதை பார்த்தா சிரிக்கிறதா அழகிறதா தெரியாது. ஸோ அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு சூப்பர் மெக்கானிக் அவருடைய டாக்டர்ஸ் எல்லாம் அவருடைய ரெப்ரசன்டேட்டிவ்ஸ், ஜூனியர் சூப்பர் மெக்கானிக்ஸ் கடவுள் மாதிரி ரியலி ரவிச்சந்திரன் அவருடைய செஞ்சுட்டு இருக்கிற அவருக்கு வந்து செஞ்சிருக்க வேண்டிய அவசியமே இல்லை. அவ்வளோ ஹாப்பியா சந்தோஷமா இருக்கலாம். அவர் டாக்டர்ஸ் வந்து அமெரிக்காவில் இருக்காங்க. ரீசெண்டா வந்துட்டு ஒரு ரிசர்ச் சென்டர்ல வந்து ஒரு மிகப்பெரிய ப்ராஜெக்ட் பண்ணி அவங்களுக்கே ஒரு $1 மில்லியன் வந்தது, 100 crores வந்தது. அந்த மாதிரி வெரி வெரி வெல் செட்டில். பட் இவ்வளவு வந்து ஜனங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு நல்லது போய் சேரணும், நல்லது செய்யணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிக்கிறதுக்காக இந்த ஃபவுண்டேஷன் வந்து அவர் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணி இவ்வளவு வந்து உழைச்சிட்டு இருக்காங்க. அவங்களுக்கு நாம எல்லாம் எவ்வளவு சப்போர்ட் பண்ணணுமோ அவ்வளவு நாம எல்லாம் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணணும். அவர் நீண்ட நாள் ஆரோக்கியத்துடன் நல்லா வாழ்ந்து எல்லாரையும் சப்போர்ட் பண்ணணும், ஆத்மா சாந்தி அடையணும்னு சொல்லி என்னுடைய பேச்சை முடிச்சுக்கிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
Well, our heart beats for this Thalaiva. Only he can say what he can on this stage like this. Such powerful message, ஆழமான சிந்தனைகள், அழகான கருத்துக்கள், எல்லாம் மனசிலேந்து ஆழமான பதிவுகளா பண்ணியிருக்கார். பெரிய கரகோஷம் கொடுத்து அவரை நாமும் இங்க இருக்கிற பெரியவர்கள்லாம் நிறைய பேர் இருக்காங்க, நீடூழி வாழ்க என்று வாழ்த்தி I request now Dr. Ravichandran to do the honors to Superstar.
அஞ்சு பேர் ரெடியா இருந்த கிட்னி கொடுக்க மோகனே தமாஷா சொல்லுவான், வீட்டு ஃப்ரிட்ஜில் 5 கிட்னி ரெடியா வச்சிருக்கோம் அப்படின்னு. அது வந்து ஃபார்ச்சுனேட்லி என்னோட கிட்னி தான் வந்து ஒத்து வந்தது. அதாவது 10 பொருத்தமும் இருந்தது என்னோட கிட்னிக்கு. சரி, உடனே இவனோட கிட்னி எடுத்துடலாம் அப்படின்னு டிசைட் பண்ணாங்க. ப்ராபப்ளி பூர்வ ஜென்மத்தில் என்னோட சிஸ்டர்லாக்க நான் பிரதர் அண்ட் சிஸ்டரா இருந்திருப்பேன் நினைக்கிறேன், இல்லை அம்மா பிள்ளையா இருந்திருப்பேன். அதனால தான் இந்த பொருத்தம் இருந்திருக்கணும். ஸோ அதுலேருந்து அவரோட பழக ஆரம்பித்து இந்த சேப்பியன் ஹெல்த் ஃபவுண்டேஷனோட எங்களுக்கு தொடர்பு வந்தது. அற்புதமான சில காரியங்கள்லாம் அவர் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு ராஜன் ரவிச்சந்திரன். இன்னைக்கு அவர் சால்ட் விஷயத்தை பத்தி பேசுறது அதெல்லாம் கூட விட்டுருக்க, அதெல்லாம் கூட நான் ஒத்துக்கல. அதெல்லாம் மீறி அந்த பேஷண்ட்ஸுக்கு அவர் பண்ற ஒரு சர்வீஸ் இருக்கு, தட் இஸ் a ஹிமாலயன் சர்வீஸ். அந்த டயாலிசிஸ் வாசல்ல நிக்கிற ஒவ்வொரு பேஷண்ட்டும் அவங்க அட்டெண்டர் எல்லாரும் அவரை கடவுளா ட்ரீட் பண்றாங்க. தெய்வமா, அவருக்கு தெய்வ நம்பிக்கை ரொம்ப கிடையாது, பட் அவரை தெய்வமா பாக்குறாங்க அவங்க எல்லாரும். எஸ் சார். சோ அப்பேற்பட்ட ஒரு அற்புதமான மனிதன் டாக்டர் ராஜன் ரவிச்சந்திரன். அதாவது ராமருக்கு அணில் உதவி பண்ண மாதிரி இந்த சேப்பியன் ஃபவுண்டேஷனுக்கு, அதாவது ஆர்சிக்கு இந்த கிரேசியோட ஒரு சின்ன உபகாரமா நாங்க 2016 அமெரிக்கா போன போது எங்களால முடிஞ்ச வரைக்கும் இந்த சேப்பியன் ஃபவுண்டேஷனுக்கு நாங்க பணம் கலெக்ட் பண்ணி கொடுத்தோம். அதை கண்டினியூஸா திருப்பியும் பண்ண போறோம். இந்த வருஷம் we are traveling, we are going to do it for சேப்பியன் ஃபவுண்டேஷன். ஏன்னா டயாலிசிஸ், டிரான்ஸ்பிளான்ட், இந்த மாதிரி எத்தனையோ விஷயங்கள், சார் சீக்கிரம் முடிச்சிருந்தோம் 2 minutes, எத்தனையோ விஷயங்களுக்கு அவர் வந்து பண்ணிட்டு வர்றார். ஸோ எனக்கு ஒரே ஒரு ரிக்வெஸ்ட் தான். அதாவது நான் எத்தனையோ பேஷண்ட்ஸோட பேசினேன், ரெசிபியன்ட்டோட பேசினேன், டோனர்ஸோட பேசினேன். அவங்க எல்லாரும் சொல்றது என்னன்னா, நம்ம ராஜன் ரவிச்சந்திரனுக்கு இன்னொரு பெரிய ரெகக்னிஷன் கிடைக்கணும், இதோட பெரிய ரெகக்னிஷன் இந்தியா லெவல்ல கிடைக்கணும். அப்படின்னு எல்லாருமே சொல்ல ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. அது இப்ப இருக்கிற சென்ட்ரல் கவர்மெண்ட் வந்து இந்த மாதிரி எத்தனையோ ப்ரொஃபஷனல்ஸ அவங்களோட சர்வீஸ அவங்களோட தொழிலா இருந்தா கூட அவங்களோட சர்வீஸ அப்ரிஷியேட் பண்ணி ரெகக்னைஸ் பண்ணி அவங்களுக்கு பத்மா அவார்டு அதெல்லாம் கொடுக்கறாங்க. கண்டிப்பா நம்ம ராஜன் ரவிச்சந்திரனுக்கு அது கிடைக்கணும்னு என்னோட ரொம்ப ஆசை. இவங்க எல்லாரும் மூலியமா நான் இதை ரிக்வெஸ்ட் பண்றேன். இன்னைக்கு இங்க சூப்பர் ஸ்டார் ரஜினிகாந்த் இருக்காரு, நம்ம ஃபார்மர் வைஸ் பிரசிடென்ட் வெங்கையா நாயுடு அவர்கள் இங்க இருக்காரு. டெஃபினட்டா மனசு வச்சா நடக்கும். அது வந்ததுன்னா கண்டிப்பா தமிழ்நாட்டில் இருக்கிற ராஜன் ரவிச்சந்திரனோட எத்தனையோ பேஷண்ட்ஸுக்கு அது ஒரு பெரிய ஒரு வரப்பிரசாதமா இருக்கும்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன். எவ்வளவோ பேசணும்னு வந்தேன். நிறைய பேசுறதுக்கு கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு வாரம் 10 நாள் நான் வந்து அவர் சொன்னாரேன்னு ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணி வச்சிருந்தேன். கட் ஷார்ட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. சுருக்கமா பேசுறது எவ்வளவு கஷ்டம் சார். நிறைய பேசிட்டே போயிடலாம். சின்னதா பேசுறோம்னா திருக்குறள் எழுதினார எவ்வளவு கிரேட் அவர். 2 லைன்ல சொல்லிட்டு போயிட்டார் ரொம்ப அழகா. அந்த மாதிரி 2 லைன்ல பேசுறது அவ்வளவு கஷ்டமா இருக்கு. எனவே 60 செகண்ட்ஸ் இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் ஜாஸ்தியா எடுத்துட்டா மன்னிச்சுக்கோங்க. தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் ஆல் ஆஃப் யூ. தேங்க்யூ.
When I have given 60 seconds to Crazy Balaji, it will be 50 seconds for Dr. Amit Shah.
So, honorable dignitaries on the dais and all participants in the audience, I walked an hour back and Dr. Rajan was surprised. He mentioned that all the audience was asking Amit Shah, Home Minister is coming from Delhi. So I'll just take 50 seconds. In the first 25 seconds, I hope no one is keeping a stopwatch. I'll talk about what the work that we do at Resolve to Save Lives, and the next 25 seconds I'll talk about what drew us over here to come and see the work of the Sapiens Foundation in person over here. At Resolve to Save Lives, it has been set up as a global initiative 5 years back with a very ambitious goal of saving 100 million lives from cardiovascular disease over the next 30 years. Now, it's a very ambitious goal, but it has been set up as a partnership with the World Health Organization, World Bank, Johns Hopkins University, and a range of global partners. In India, we have been working over the last 5 years with the Indian Council of Medical Research, WHO, and a lot of organizations through which we have demonstrated a lot of success in various interventions. Now, how do we reduce those cardiovascular deaths? We have identified 3 strategies. Number 1 is hypertension control. Can we achieve the global coverage of hypertension control from, let's say, 14% to 50%. Second is, how do you ensure that we eliminate trans fat from the diet, which definitely it's considered as the equivalent of nicotine in nutrition. And the third is, how do you reduce population level salt consumption by 30%? Now, all these are very, very significant public health challenges. In hypertension, we have been able to achieve significant successes working with our partners. We have now been able to diagnose 4.5 million patients across India with hypertension and put them on treatment. Trans fat elimination, India has shown the leadership by actually enacting a policy, but now it is translating it into action by eliminating trans fat, which is again a long task journey ahead. The last but the most important is salt consumption. Achieving 30% reduction in salt consumption is easier said than done, when 80% of the salt consumption happens at the household level. So what are the unique behavior change strategies that we can deploy as a society that can really help us from the silent epidemic? I'm not getting into the numbers because Dr. Narasimham sir and Dr. Rajan sir have already spoken about the hazards of it. But it's how do we achieve it that is important. And that is the reason the work of Sapiens Foundation is so very important. Because what they've been able to do is key to increase the patient awareness on key health issues and educate them on preventive and lifestyle management. Dr. Rajan definitely should serve as a role model for the medical fraternity, not to focus only on the curative component, but also on the preventive and the lifestyle management. If we have to collectively achieve the reduction in salt consumption, the audience today itself gives us a lot of hope, because it's a collective effort. It's a whole of community effort where we'll have senior leaders, where we have celebrities, where we have grassroots organizations, where we have leaders from the medical fraternity, and as well as community members and patients all together. So only if we are able to join hands, I think we'll be able to do that. Thank you very much, Rajan sir, for inviting me over here. I hope it was
It's a special moment as we launch the campaign for salt reduction, and I invite the dignitaries on stage to launch the posters. What a special day for all of us in the Sapiens Health Foundation. Honorable Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu has come specifically for this event, and it's time to honor him with a shawl and a memento. Yes, we will now have one of the interesting address by Honorable Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu, sir.
Namato superstar Sri Rajinikanth, that I've been asked to release this poster and join this 25 years of this great and noble foundation's good work. I am also very happy to be with my dear friend, superstar Sri Rajinikanth. I must mention here that Thiru Rajinikanth belongs to a rare class of extraordinary actors endued with humility, simplicity, and matchless social commitment. All of us look up to him with awe and admiration, but he remains humble and grounded, much like a majestic banyan tree spreading the branches wide, far, offering its benign shade to all. Whenever I meet him, I feel very happy, because he is not only an actor, but a special human being, as I mentioned earlier. When I came to know through my friend, my Guru, Sri Gurumurthy, that Rajinikanth ji want to get into politics, I told Gurumurthy ji, please advise him on my behalf also not to do it. He said, Guru, no, he was telling that he is very much eager to serve the people. Then I told him there are better ways to serve the people, and with all experience, I am giving this suggestion because I like and admire Rajinikanth. This is not good for him. He said, no, you only advise him. So I telephoned to Rajinikanth at the cost of being misunderstood. I don't worry about anybody misunderstanding me, because I have to make them to understand. And I told him my views. And as he has mentioned earlier, thanks to the Corona positive in Corona, but it had its effect, and finally he decided not to get into politics. Because politics are not healthy. If you want to be healthy, you should not join politics. Or if you join politics, you must try to reason politics, which is not that much easy. I am not discouraging people from joining politics. More and more youngsters, they should join politics. But they should be disciplined, they should be honest, they should be dedicated, and then they should remain committed to the ideology. then only they should choose this path of politics. That's my advice to the youngsters. My dear friends, I don't want to give a lecture. After becoming vice president, I am used to deliver a prepared speech. Even after I complete my tenure, that habit still continues. My staff tells me, better sir, to go with a prepared speech. I'm not comfortable with prepared speech. Today, I don't want to give a speech because today, this evening, is a very healthy evening. I call it as a healthy evening. What a great education for all of us. Today, this evening, Dr. by Raja Ravichandran ji and also Narsingan ji, about two important aspects. Really, it's a good education to all of us. And I feel really very happy that I'm here to hear the full lecture. Initially, I told Sundar that we should conclude the program by 7 o'clock because I had to travel another 1 hour to attend another program. Luckily, yesterday evening, I could complete my program early in Nellore. And morning, I attended a medical camp, inaugurated, and then came here and attended that marriage also today morning. So there is no hurry for me. I told Ms. Sundar, take your own time. That really proved to be very useful. I am telling you, my friends, one must go through the advice because prevention is better than cure. If we, all of us are able to follow the advice and the medical guidance that is given by two stalwarts, it will be very, very useful to all of us and to also to our family members. My dear friends, there is no simply any substitute to good health. That's why our forefathers have told us, Arogyame Mahabhagyamu. Health is wealth. If you have health, you can acquire wealth. If you have wealth, there is no guarantee you are assured of good health. So one has to really take care of oneself by following the advices given by the eminent people. A majority of the premature deaths across the globe are happening because of not following good lifestyle, good food habits, sedentary lifestyle, and also not being friendly with the nature. I strongly believe that one has to be friendly with the nature. Nature, culture, together for your better future. That is my advice to all the youngsters. Nature, culture, together for your better future. Culture, respecting elders, respecting Guru, spending time with family members, getting guidance from elders, and following little discipline at getting early, get up with the sun and try to go to bed at the earliest after the sunset. If you are able to follow these two things, most of our problems can be really addressed to. This is very much required for the youngsters because the youngsters are following the Western lifestyle, sedentary lifestyle, and some of them are becoming lazy. If you become lazy, then you will become crazy. One has to understand this. And also little amount of exercise. Any exercise, some sport, some activity, that is very much required for the body, along with other precautions that has been suggested. First is lifestyle. This is my experience tells me. I am now 74. As long as I am in Delhi, I try to play badminton 1 hour a day. This is not to compete with Sindhu or Gopichand, but to take care of my health. And also do some 25 to 30 minutes of yoga, exercise. Yoga, according to me, is very, very important. And I'm happy, world over, countries after countries, they are all now going for yoga. And one boy asked me from the audience earlier, when I was talking about this, sir, what is it I am going to get by practicing yoga? I told him, by doing yoga, you will become yogya, become fit. And some people have a wrong notion that yoga is connected with religion. Yoga has no religion. It's an exercise of body and mind. And some people suggested, sir, one boy told me, sir, yoga is good, but this Surya Namaskara, I understood. Then I told him, if you have a problem with Surya Namaskara, do Chandra Namaskara. No problem. Wrong notion again. And some people link it to Modi. Yoga is not for Modi. That is for your body. You have to understand this. Very happy that our beloved Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Bhai, has taken it up and the United Nations have approved it with the overwhelming majority of the nations supporting it. That is for common good of the people. So we must all do it. And then food. Food habits that also have effect. That's where these aspects come in. And eating cooked food. Nowadays it has become a fashion for the youngster to go for packed food. I told them, try to convince them, Babu, this packed food is no good. No, sir, the food is instant. Then I told him, instant food means constant disease. You have to understand. How can food be instant? It has to be cooked properly. That's why our forefathers, great grandparents, they have recommended food, cooked food, proteinous food. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan Foundation doing a great work by trying to educate the people. We are all eating food, but we are not eating protein food. That's another aspect that has to be taken care. We must go for protein food and timely food. Timely food and timely bed. This is what is required, along with what has been suggested by Dr. Ravichandran ji. About kidney problems, about dialysis, all other aspects he has widely covered. I don't want to touch upon them. I don't have much knowledge. But I heard about Raja Ravichandran ji's service. I first met him through my friend, Sri Subba Reddy of Seabros. At the very instant, I was very much impressed by the personality of Ravichandran ji. Personality means not the physical, this thing, of the way he was trying to speak and he was trying to explain. The foundation which he has started, and the service he is doing is really great. One has to admire. And along with the lifestyle, I am told, he is following simple living, high thinking, and then noble service to the people. He has taken it as a mission, because our forefathers told us health and education should be treated as a mission. But of late, you know that health and education has been converted to not simply mission, but for commission. But we have a doctor here who has taken up this as a passion, and made it his life mission, without doing any omission or giving any remission, doing with passion for the sake of the nation. That's why we all salute you, sir, for this great service you are doing. Ravichandran, see the name itself, Ravi, sun, Chandra, moon, both are there. Ravi takes care of your health, it provides you good health, and Chandra gives you happiness, pleasantness. Both are there with him. My dear friends, in spite of being a busy private practitioner, he is able to devote himself to the cause of championing public health. And I am told that he takes care of the poor people. And he charges minimum. Nowadays, seeing a patient for 500 rupees, very rarely you get such doctors. And then, more than the treatment, giving proper guidance and education to the people, working with schools and colleges to educate the children, the future generation, about the need to protect their health, and then what to do and what not to do. That is very important, because educating the people should not be left to the government alone. It should be taken up by all. The government and the private sector must have proper understanding and coordination and cooperation. Public-private partnership is very much required, because we are a huge nation, huge population, and our good number of our people are below poverty line. So we need to educate them, we need to guide them, and the best way to guide them is guide when they were young, so that they can guide others. I am told that Sapiens Foundation is doing that noble work. I would like to compliment from the bottom of my heart Dr. Ravichandran ji and his team for doing such an excellent job. My dear friends, diagnosing early and then giving proper advice and guidance is very much required. This has to be the mission for everybody in the medical profession. And people should be told to follow proper lifestyle and reduce unnecessary tension. Because peace is the prerequisite for progress. If you have tension, you cannot pay attention and have retention. You'll be doing only pretension, as if everything is all right. So one has to really create peace for himself, in the family, and also in the neighborhood, in the society and the state and the country. This is very much essential because we are having unnecessary tensions across the globe. And we are a peaceful nation right from the beginning. Though we were called as once upon a time as Vishwa Guru, and we used to be one of the richest nations in the world. 35% of the GDP used to be from India before the Britishers came, ruled us, ruined us, looted us, and cheated us. Cheated some of our minds also. That's another problem. Minds that stay in the way of living. That may be good for those countries. I don't want to denigrate them. But for us, we have to follow our own Indian methods. That's why wherever I go, I stress upon following the mother tongue. Promote, propagate, protect mother tongue. That is very much required for everybody, including doctors, because patients do not know English. And not only for doctors, for everybody, even for actors, for politicians, for collector, for everybody. They should be able to speak in the mother tongue of the people so that they communicate better and people understand better. This is very much important. Though it's not directly connected with today's program, why I'm saying this is that will really help us to communicate better. And then follow our own Indian methods. One boy told me, "Sir, good morning." I told him, "Namaste." Then I told him, "Good morning now." After some time, what do you say? He said, "Good afternoon." Then I said, "Evening?" "Good evening." Then I said, "In the night?" "Good night." I told him I will give a simple solution. Morning, afternoon, evening, night. Namaste. Vanakkam. Vanakkam in the morning, vanakkam in the afternoon, night also. Because you don't know it's going to be a good evening or bad evening. Best thing is follow your mother tongue. This is also very much required for every being to be at peace with himself or herself. You have to be peaceful within your mind. For that, yoga helps. For that, proper food habits also help. So I request every one of us here today to follow the good advice given by two eminent people, and I was informed Dr. Ravichandran ji is the architect and pioneer of kidney transplants across blood groups using Japanese technology and has successfully done several such transplants for the first time in our country. This is indeed a major breakthrough in the field of kidney transplantation in India and continue to benefit many patients. I am happy that a person from our region has become a doctor of international eminence. It's a pride moment to all of us, and the younger medical fraternity should emulate Dr. Ravichandran ji and follow his footsteps to take care of the societal needs and health of the people. My dear friends, I am also told that the foundation has also a unique program of PD Assist, wherein the patients are assisted and encouraged to undergo home-based therapy of peritoneal dialysis. This is another boon given to the people, home dialysis. This guidance by such eminent people will help us to reduce our expenditure and also increase our lifespan. My dear friends, before I conclude, I'd like to say only one thing. Serving the poor, serving the need is serving the God. That's why our elder said, Manava Seva, Madhava Seva. I'm happy Dr. Ravichandran ji is doing that, and all of us should support the foundation and follow the advice given by him and the campaign to reduce salt. Reduce salt. We must go for a modern day salt satyagraha. Salt satyagraha. The truth lies in what he said. So we must reduce intake and increase our lifespan. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Nandri. Vanakkam.
It's a special moment to express our gratitude, and what a speech that he gave, which, as usual, drives home all the points in such telling manner, and of course, as I said, it will leave a deep impact in your minds. I now request the dignitaries to honor some of the people who have contributed to the success of the program. I request Honorable Shri Venkaiah Naidu to present a memento to Shri Niranjan. I request Niranjan to come on stage to receive the memento from Honorable Shri Venkaiah Naidu. I request Venkaiah Naidu sir to honor Shri Gracie Balaji. And also a memento to Dr. Amit Shah for his 50-second speech. Thank you, sir. I now request Superstar to present a memento to C. Subba Reddy. I request Subba Reddy to come on stage. Thank you. I invite K. Sriram of Shankara TV to come on stage to receive a memento from Superstar Rajinikanth. Yeah. Request Sriram to come on stage, please. Yeah, Sriram. I request Subhashri Tanikachalam, who is going to present a music, Delayed but Not Denied, a lovely QFR assembly of songs. I request Superstar to present a memento to Subhashri Tanikachalam. Please. I request Superstar to present a memento Shri O.S. Arun, who rendered the invocation song. Thank you, sir. As I sign off, I would like to express our sincere thanks to the chairman of Sapiens Foundation, Dr. Ravichandran, all our friends, the large-hearted donors, Sri Subba Reddy and his team from Raintree for the hospitality, the Music Academy led by Sri N. Murali, his enthusiastic team, the Chennai Police, the media, the government departments, Subhashri and her artists in the orchestra, O.S. Arun for his Kurayundru Millai, the creative value addition from veteran director Sri Ramji, the dynamic Sonia Nayak and visionary CEO Sri Ram of Shankara TV, the artist who sketched the portraits Annamalai Navarnan, Lalita Ravichandran, our trustee, the huge response in registrations thanks to Kalyan, the support from Sri Dinesh, John for the banners, the support of Kannan and Sujata in the Sapiens office, Sri Niranjan for being the backbone for all our documentaries and visual presentations, Sri Sudeep for the LED work, and of course, there is going to be a low-salt snack from Vandy's team led by Devansh Daga.